evening, gentle listener, and welcome to Distractible. This week, it's a mirror into the minds of the makers as Mark asks the gents to reveal their favorite niche channels. Logical Bob loves Linus, docking, unabashed dogging, and stealth camping voyeurism. Uncharacteristically hairy Wade appreciates risky business and those who have animals in their backyard. From Lithuania's fastest baby to obscure narrators. Yes, it's time for YouTubers for YouTubers. Now sit back and prepare to be distracted and enjoy the show.
Hello, and welcome back to Distractible, the podcast where we have insightful, informational conversations that are going to leave you questioning your entire existence. I am your host, Markiplier, the one who will judge the contributions of my fellow podcasteers, Bob and Wade. Say hi.
Hi.
Howdy doody. Fellow podcasteers, I like that.
That's nice.
Thank you.
It's like a tour, right? Where it's classy. We're podcastiers.
Yeah, 100%. Well, today we have an incredible episode for you, but we will get to that in just a moment because we have had lives of our own, and they are constantly expanding in front of us, and they are opening up new possibilities to our entire existence and different ways that we can perceive our entire reality. But in order to talk about that, we got to make small talk. How's the weather, guys?
Hot.
Surprisingly cold.
Oh.
Low 60s. Chilly even.
The Wade is in a place, a hellhole called Ohio.
Oh, whoa, hey, calm down. Hey, wait.
It's a nightmare landscape of awfulness surrounding us at every moment, right?
I love it here. I would never leave it.
We all agree. We have agreed and we will agree.
I don't know if I agree. I don't think I agree to that.
No agree?
No.
Interesting. Well, it's hot and desert over there, and it's nice and cold and moist over here.
I don't know if you noticed this or not, Mark, but I've got something especially for you today.
You do? What is that?
My senior shirt that definitely exists. I put this on just for you, buddy.
Man, that is...
I just thought you should know the Eagles class of 2007, we had our shirts.
I can't believe you bought a screen printing press and made that shirt in the interim between this and the last episode just to try to prove...
It's got our whole class's names on the back.
He had Amazon Now send him one of those $30,000 t-shirt printing machines that could just on demand. Yeah, no, that's desperation, Wade.
The denial is insane. I'm wearing it's weathered. You can see how old it is. It's cracking.
Yeah, well, you can't possibly weather a t-shirt in your own home. Oh, how would you ever do that?
How are you on his side, Bob? We were on the same side during the episode.
I'm not on anybody's side, okay? I'm on the side of facts and logic.
Well, Wade, that is a hilarious parody t-shirt of what that would be if we really did have t-shirts
I cannot believe
for
this.
our class.
If something that stupid ever happened or existed.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, try a realistic lie next time, but it's very cute, your shirt. I think you'll be there someday.
Thanks, man.
That's good small talk about how hellish Ohio is, but Bob, is there anything new in your life that you want to talk about?
I just found a little bit of General's chicken on my lip from my Chinese takeout lunch I just ate.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like a nice little bonus snack.
Mm-hmm.
It's exhausting. Just the baby. Lots of baby stuff. He's crawling. He's almost crawling. Actually, it's pretty cool. He's
cool.
to the point where he holds himself up on his hands and feet, and then he gets on his hands and knees, and then he can't quite do it, but he can almost do it. Once he can crawl, we're totally fucked though. It's like he's gonna zoom away at 1,000 miles an hour, and we're gonna instead of him because right now you can like put him on the floor, right? He's got like a play mat or whatever. You put him down and be like, stay there, and he can kind of roll back and forth, but that's about it. If he can crawl in a direction for any period of time, he's gone. He's lost.
He's gone.
He's got to figure out how to get doors open, and then he's out of here.
You're going to watch him like scurrying. He'll get to the door and just like scurry up and grab the handle. It'll fall and open. He'll fall down and just like scurry out the door like inhumanly fast. That's creepy.
No, it's so that not looking forward to that, but for right now, very cute, very cute.
World's fastest baby.
Is there a record for that? Hang on, I'm going to look this up.
Almost definitely there's a record for that, right?
World's fastest baby.
Quick, everyone Google at the same time.
I found Lithuania's fastest baby.
Meet Lithuania's fastest baby. Yeah, I found that too.
All right, well, I don't think that's going to be very exciting. It seems like a turtle race.
5 meters and 13 seconds.
Oh, pathetic.
5 meters in 13 seconds?
Pathetic.
Is that fast?
Is that fast? Yeah.
It's like, what is that? Like, how many feet's in a meter? 3? 15 feet in 5 seconds for a baby? Babies are like a couple feet tall.
It was 13 seconds, but yeah.
3 seconds to go 80 feet? What's the record?
Well, I don't know anymore. I thought I read it, but
5 meters and 15 seconds, I think what it was.
Oh, 8 seconds to go a mile. Unbelievable. I think that's faster than adults.
World's fastest mile at 8 seconds. You broke the barrier.
It's like one of those wind-up cars. You hold him over the floor and he starts crawling until he gets to the point where he's just like, and then you set him down.
there's gifs of fast baby crawling. Oh, it's creepy. It is creepy.
I don't think those are true. I think those might be edited. But there was a TikTok that I saw that was like a dad, like, how to teach your kid to walk. And it was like, first you run. And he held up the baby with like, or the toddler.
I saw that, yeah.
My hands and went, oh, and the kid's feet went, yo. And then when he let go, it was still moving because I think it was dizzy.
Yeah, I can tell you that's not how it works.
I was gonna share this image, but I don't know if I can share. I feel weird sharing images of babies crawling with you guys on.
Let's not do that.
Yeah, I'm not going to. But there's one of a baby like crawling really fast, and the one next to it is a baby crawling really slow. But the baby can't quite lift its head, so its face is just dragging on the floor as it crawls. It's a very like stark contrast between the two images.
What an artistic gif! What a beautiful moment captured in graphical interchange image format.
You could probably like put a vacuum on that baby's head, just have it clean the floor for you while it's crawling around.
That is entertaining. And actually, it pertains to today's episode.
Weird part 4?
Yes! It's true!
No,
Weird!
dude,
No,
you've got
it's
it.
not true. It's not true. It's not true, man. I wouldn't do that. Look, I don't redo ideas. Even though this might be an idea that has been redone, I don't know. At this point, it's a minefield of things and you never really know at this point. But I'm looking for new, even if this is a topic that we've talked about before, which I don't think it is, but I'm looking for new stuff here because today I want to talk about niche YouTube channels that you guys watch and appreciate. These could be like larger channels, of course, but we all have subscriptions to YouTube channels that we like, or maybe we all don't do. I have no idea. It could be also niche, like TikTok accounts that you like. I don't necessarily have to have it pertain to YouTube, but I'm talking YouTube specifically for my recommendations because that's content that I consume the most, even though I don't watch probably typical YouTube channels that a lot of people out there do. And I'm going to start it off with one of my favorite channels. It's not like a small channel by any means. I have 2 recommendations that I actually enjoy. But have you guys watched Speakima Movies?
No.
No.
Never heard of it.
All right. So Speakima is a YouTube channel that does movie reviews, but more specifically movie breakdowns. I believe I've actually mentioned them before, but they do really in-depth breakdowns of very specific parts of movies, and they talk often about like themes and with an emphasis on horror movies sometimes, but I really like the way they break down movies, even though they get too nitty-gritty on some small details that I don't even think the director intended. But that's one, and I think that anyone can find some entertainment out of these videos, and probably you guys have stumbled upon them before because their most popular video has 6 million views. They've done a Hereditary breakdown, and they've talked a lot about things. So they have pretty successful videos, and I like the way that they talk about things. But this other channel is extremely niche, coming in at 3.6 thousand subscribers. And it's just like a very unique channel that I think serves a very informational purpose for a very specific, very small subset of people. And I'm talking about the YouTube channel, Comprehensible Input Korean. I want to show you this. I'm going to actually share my screen on this one. It's Comprehensible Input Korean. So what this is a channel that is playing games and talking about things purely in Korean, but in a way he tries to give context to what he's saying and emphasizes certain words and speaks about it in ways that you can pick up what the word in Korean he's saying by tying it to an action that is occurring in a game. So when he's talking, like, he plays this unpacking game, he pulls an object, you can see the object, and he says the word of the object, and he's like, I am putting it in like this box, or I'm putting it on the shelf, this thing in the shelf. He plays like games that you and I have probably played before, like Thief Simulator, the Goose Game, escape rooms, things like that. And he recently started posting content again. He started like a couple years ago, or maybe like a year and a half ago or something like that. And I discovered the channel then. There was like very few videos. But just recently, like within the last few months, I came back like a week ago and I was like, oh shit, he's posted so many videos. Like learning a language from purely hearing just that language and seeing what he's talking about and hearing him emphasize certain words. You can really, truly pick up a lot of the language from the context, especially if you've played these games before. And it turns like the Let's Play format, which I like, into a language learning tool. And I'm like, this is an extremely useful resource. And it's such a small channel, but now it's like really pumping out content. I'm like, yes, I love this. I'm all about this. I am big fan. So what I want to hear is your guys's niche YouTube channels that either you think are very informative, very entertaining, not get a lot of attention, like, or maybe they get a lot of attention, but you think they're worth mentioning.
Yeah, I have to say, I don't know if I have like niche, like really small channels, but I definitely have some that I think are niche communities. So like it's channels that have, 1 million subscribers and are very successful, but I'm hoping maybe people may not have heard of them. Also, I've totally spent some of this on, we've talked about this before, so one of my favorites is not available, but I'll mention him anyway.
Not available?
I've already discussed him. I'm pretty sure on the podcast.
Probably, maybe.
Also, it's not a small channel anymore. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. What about you, Wade? You have some of these?
I've got a few. I mean, I would love to take it just to shout out all my friends who I think are very underappreciated and underviewed.
No, boo.
For personal like viewership of like non-biased channels, this guy's blown up over the last like 2 years. But a friend introduced us to his channel, Urban Rescue Ranch. This guy started like taking in animals like into his backyard. Like he had a house where he was like taking in animals. He got like a kangaroo that he named after the rapper DaBaby, and he's a much bigger channel now, and he gets really good views, and he's using that money, I think, to build like an animal rehabilitation, wildlife rescue. But he's just really fun to watch. I don't know, Molly and I always watch him together whenever he uploads new videos. He just like had a pond put into his backyard. He's got like 2 kangaroos. He's got capybaras, prairie dogs, all kinds of stuff. He has a weird relationship with his bird Kevin. That's, I think, one of the big draws early on, was watching him interact with Kevin. It seems like he's overall doing good stuff. He's entertaining to watch. We've picked up some of the weird catchphrases he says, and we'll say it sometimes. So he's somebody I think that's getting a lot of attention now, but probably deservedly so for doing something kind of unique and hopefully overall good. I mean, you never know for sure, but it seems like it's good. I don't want to like speak on behalf of the
I love that you have to qualify your recommendations. Like, he might be a terrible human being. You never know. I don't. Did I? I didn't. Look, if they're a terrible person, then yeah, you'll have a separate conversation about separating the art from the artist. But the point still stands.
Well, I just don't follow him like religiously to where I know everything he posts on all of his social media sites and everything else. I just know I enjoy watching his YouTube videos. Stand
by your recommendations. I was going to give you 3 points for the rec. I'm taking off 1 for not having the balls to stand by your recommendation.
Good. I prefer even numbers. You can take that odd numbered point and shove it up your ear.
I'm not going to do that.
In your ear?
I'm not going to do that.
I've got more. Unless Bob, you want to?
No, it's Bob's turn now. It's Bob's turn.
I'll do some. Well, so the one that I'll just get it out there, because the one that I've talked about before is GeoWizard. He's a very interesting fellow. He plays GeoGuessr a lot, but the really cool stuff that I like that he does is he walks across countries in a straight line, which is a fascinating exercise.
Is that the same person? For some reason I thought that was 2 different people.
No, yeah, GeoWizard's channel is like a lot of his content is him playing GeoGuessr, and he's insanely good at it. But then his other like bigger scale content is straight line missions across Like he walked in a straight line across Wales, and he does stuff like some of his more recent videos are, there's one with I haven't actually watched, that says we picked the worst day to run across the country, and it's like very snowy looking. But anyway, I've talked about him before. Excellent channel, very fun. A lesser known one that I would talk about, maybe?
Well, how many do you get to give?
Oh, wow. He already talked about that one.
That one doesn't barely even count.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My real submission is, have you guys heard of Linus Tech Tips?
I've seen Linus touch tips, but I've never watched Linux.
Linus touches tips.
Dude, I love Linus Touch Tips.
I love that channel.
They give really good phone casing reviews. Oh no, I just had one pulled up. Wait for it. Okay, this YouTube channel is called Steve Wallace. Well, more accurately, it's called Camping with Steve.
Yes!
Oh, you watch Camping with Steve?
Yes!
Hell yeah.
If no one said it, I was going to say it.
No, I love Camping with Steve. Steve Wallace, Camping with Steve, is over 1 million subscribers. So it's not exactly a small channel. He's very successful. But his whole thing began when he did a documentary on his boondocking days. He used to live in a camper, and he boondocked, which is where you park your camper in a city, in an urban or suburban area, and you live in it. But now, he's moved on from boondocking. He actually had a really cool series where he was in school training to be, he's like an HVAC tech, I think. He does like HVAC or plumbing or something. He's like a tradesman. When he was in school for that, he actually lived in the winter in an ice fishing tent outdoors because the school was like far from his home. So he like lived at this campsite sort of temporarily for like 6 weeks or 8 weeks or whatever. He's an interesting dude. He just camps anywhere. He camps under freeway overpasses. He camps in his car in interesting places. And he tries to stealth camp, right? He tries to camp and not be seen. And not necessarily in places where it's illegal, but in places where it's like frowned upon. Where if the cops came, he would, they wouldn't arrest him, but they'd be like, okay, but pack your shit and get out of here. And like the whole thing is, he's trying to be a sneaky boy. And it's just very wholesome. Steve is awesome. He suffered a tragedy in the last year. His wife died suddenly, which is super sad. And honestly, hit me personally more than I would have expected. But he is bouncing back, and Steve's awesome. He's very fun. And he has a guy who is frequently in his videos called Crazy Neighbor, who's just his neighbor who always has a cowboy hat and is just like down to do whatever the fuck Steve wants to do. Like, hey, you want to build a raft and float down a river? And neighbor's like, yeah, man. Let's do that.
No, Amy introduced me to Camping with Steve, and literally it's just like we just started binge watching episodes because it's like one ends and it's just like you gotta see the next one. Sometimes they connect to each other.
I've not watched that one. I'll have to check that one out.
It's a very fun. A lot of people might watch it and say like, oh, it's very dry, but it's like it is oddly captivating content. Did you see the one where he camped in a roundabout?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, it was a great one.
The whole start of that one where he's like scouting it and he's like, cars coming. I can't believe that worked because he camped behind like a bush in a roundabout.
And when the cop comes by or like the local patrol, I was like, oh, he's donezo.
Is that allowed? Can you do that?
It's not expressly illegal. I mean, some of the things he does are probably against like local laws or regulations or something. But
yeah, probably.
He always like packs out trash that he finds. He does it the way that you would hope people would do it, where it's like he just wants to have fun, and he just like has a fun camp and then packs his stuff and leaves it nicer than he left it. Did you see the one where he was camping behind the sign on the highway?
I did.
And his stove exploded into a ball of flame when he went to ignite it.
Different one. I must have saw a different sign one. I gotta see that one then.
Yeah, though there are a couple like sign by the highway. Well, there's one where it's like it's like one of those very short walls where it's like, welcome to this city sort of thing. He camps behind that on like a busy road, and he goes to cook dinner, and he just has like a camp stove, and he's like click, 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 and it just goes whoomp. It's like a ball of propane gas explode, and he was fine, but like it was a big ball of flame, and he was just kind of like, I'm not going to cook dinner anymore. I don't know how that happened. Shit. I'm just going to drink some more step twos and hang out at this sign.
Can you do delivery? Like, hey, I'm behind the speed mile an hour sign.
He's done that.
Not the mile-an-hour sign. That's a little small.
There was one where he camped in the parking lot of a ferry. He was waiting to catch a ferry to go to British Columbia or something, to go to an island off of the coast. And he camped in the parking lot, and he had like a pizza delivery come to his car in the parking lot.
That's pretty funny.
I'm glad that you watched it. I thought that would be a no one.
No, I'm all about that. And
one.
it's only recently that I got into it, like within the past few weeks.
I've been watching Steve for years.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Well, I'm giving you some bonus points for having something, but I might deduct one. Okay, all right.
No, well, I don't need your points anyway. This guy.
All right, I won't deduct them. What do you think about that?
Yeah, take one of mine instead.
I'll do it. No, I won't. All right, wait, it's your turn.
Okay, this is kind of a strange one. This feels niche, which I think is pretty fitting. I like watching the Kill Pete strategy. You guys ever heard of it?
The what?
The Kill Pete strategy. He plays Risk, like the board game Risk, but like the video game adaptation of it. He's kind of blown up a little bit as far as views and stuff go. I think he's got like less than 100,000 subscribers, but he plays Risk, and he's like a really good Risk player in like the online version of the game. And I just find it very fun to watch.
You're not joking. Wow.
I would have never in my wildest dreams imagined it would be fun to watch somebody play the game Risk. And I tuned in one time because it kept getting recommended to me, and I was like, I don't care about this shit. Why would I care? And finally I was like, whatever. Let me see what this is all about. They keep recommending it. Fine. I give in, YouTube. You win. What is it? And I clicked on it, and I was like, I will Kill Pete strategy. I'm Pete. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Go ahead. Whatever. Let's see you play Risk. Like 20 minutes in, I was like, dude, how did you do that? Oh my God, that's so smart. I should play Risk like this. And like I downloaded like the mobile version of Risk, and I was like, I want to play. And like I started playing and like trying to adopt some of his strategies and like learning and playing my own way and stuff. But I got super into it. I still watch him from time to time. I don't have time to watch a lot of stuff, but like I got super into watching him play Risk.
You're not joking. This guy has hundreds and hundreds of videos, almost daily uploads of Risk.
He plays Risk like you play Settlers of Catan.
Yeah, man. No, why are you hating us? You're seeing that it works. If you just played Settlers of Catan and you owned your love for that game, you could be as successful as Kill Pete strategy. You could be that successful.
Yeah, well, I spite my thumb at success, and I choose to revel in failure.
You spite your thumb?
I bite my thumb, but I can't speak English, so.
All right, that's fair.
I spunk my derp at success, and I choose to lumber in my sklums.
I chew my bum at success.
What's that game? It's not Risk, but there's a whole like subreddit category dedicated to these types of games that are like Risk, where it's a little map, but you like start your own kingdom, and you raise a king, and then you marry off, you create an heir, and you keep doing that down the road. There's a game.
Oh shit! What is that called?
I don't actually know that.
Not Civilization or anything like that. It's way more granular. It seems like Risk on steroids.
I think I own one of these in my library. Let me see if I can find it.
Oh wait, are you talking about a video game? Yeah, Crusaders. No, the Crusaders. Yeah. That's
Crusader
actually a great
Kings,
series. I played that. Yes.
I imagine that's what happens when people go beyond Risk. They just get into the like super nitty gritty, because it's not only that, it's like, yeah, they got Victoria, Imperator, Hearts of Iron, Europa, and they're all like the same game, but in different eras and with slightly different game things. And it's just like, wow, that must really appeal to someone, that the map like conquest is written into they would have been like conquerors back in the day, and they're just itching for the chance of that. Good stuff, Wade. I award you points. That was very niche. I like that. That is good. Bob.
Oh, I thought I was going to struggle with this, but I'm actually scrolling through my YouTube subscriptions, and I'm currently in a conundrum because I have a couple that I would want to talk about that are interesting. I'm going to start with this one, though. This guy is very interesting. He started his YouTube, I believe he started his YouTube career, at least on this channel, where he is into motorcycles and adventuring. And early in his life, he was like a guy who would organize trips where it's like, we're all going to go to India and ride our motorcycles across India or something like that. And people would pay him to like organize the trip, book all the whatever hotels if they needed it, that sort of thing. But he's like an exploration guy. But the big series that he did is a long time ago, like 15 years ago or something. He and his then girlfriend, I think maybe fiance, but definitely girlfriend, started in Alaska and bought 2 C90 Honda motorbikes, which is like a relatively small motorbike. It's the Honda Super Cub sort of motorbike, if you know what that is. It's very iconic. There's like millions and millions of these bikes in the world. And they were going to take those bikes and ride them from like Alaska to like the tip of South America, like all the way across the Americas, you know, sort of. And he did. But at some point, well into the journey, like over a year into the journey, his girlfriend, fiance person, and he like split. So she just pieced out. And so he did a lot of this adventure on his own. But anyway, the YouTube channel is called C90 Adventures. C90 Adventures. He has 463,000 subs. So again, not really like a small unknown channel. Pretty successful. His videos get a ton of views because they're fascinating. Because he's absolutely a psychopath.
Yeah.
but the whole saga with his girlfriend, like if you scroll down through his videos, 5 years ago, he posted episode 11 of the journey from Alaska to like the tip of South America. And he's in Mexico at that point, which is not even to South America. It's Alaska to Argentina. 8 years ago, he posted a video called Where the Fuck Has Ed Been? And he tells a little bit of the story. Yeah, I don't know. He's just an interesting dude. His most recent series, he bought a little toy Jeep. It's like a kid's toy, but it has like a gas engine.
Oh.
And he's in the process of driving it 1,000 miles from where he bought it to where he lives. But the thing goes like 30 miles an hour, and he's driving it off-road on like mountain passes and shit. And you can see in the thumbnails, it's winter. So he's like outside in an open toy Jeep driving like 10 miles an hour through feet of snow. He's in the mountains of like Utah or somewhere. He's just a psychopath, but his adventures are, he's like sitting there. He's like, oh, my ass hurts. Oh, my everything. Oh, the car's breaking down. I'm 100 miles from the nearest gas station and I only have 5 miles of fuel. This is so fun, guys. This is such a crazy adventure. And it's like, oh my God, you're in actual peril a little bit. Like, God dang.
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
Very fun to watch. His adventures are ridiculous.
I love channels like that. And it's like, yeah, they have like, you know, maybe 50 videos and it's only recently that they just started blowing up. Well, I guess maybe not that recently, like 5 years ago, they were still getting decent views, but who knows when that started. But then just like,
yeah, it's a real mixed bag. But the Jeep thing he started that about a year, 8 months ago, 9 months ago, something like that. That's been like a big blow up for him.
I love that. That's great. Great recommendation. Fantastic stuff. Good stuff.
I get points? Yes?
Yes, you get points.
Good. Lots of points?
I mean, you know, it's all right.
Big points?
Well, you'll be happy with the number of points that you received.
American drive-through drink size points?
Depends on the store.
Big gulp of points?
Wade!
Yay, my turn. I've got one. It's a little bit smaller than the channel Bob mentioned, but it's, you know, still a couple hundred, few hundred thousand subscribers. But this is a blast from the past, Mark. This is one that you know, because I think you introduced me. 5-second films. You remember 5-second films?
Yeah.
I do, and I know exactly what you're going to talk about.
They're still making content.
No, they came back.
Well, yeah, but they're still making content. They came back. But yeah, they were on hiatus for a while. But back whenever we were first starting off with content together, we used to watch their content for like inspiration for stuff that we could do. We're like, oh, this is so cool how they do this like so quickly. How do they film it? So on and so forth. And some of their early shit's just so funny. Like there's a scene that you guys probably both have seen, but now it's one of their older ones, where a girl walks in and finds like her boyfriend on the couch. It looks like he's beating his meat, and he just looks up and goes, "Don't move, Kelsey." And it zooms in. He's actually defusing a bomb in his pants.
Yeah, no, 5-second films.
It's so funny, dude.
I recently found out that they were coming back because I was scrolling through TikTok just a few days ago, and they started really, really getting traction on TikTok. Of their new stuff. And I was like, oh, I remember 5-second films because I saw the old stuff I was scrolling through. And I clicked on, is this the official account or is someone reposting their stuff? And then I saw they're back. And it was like, this was such a recent development. Like literally about a month ago, they are officially back and releasing new videos.
I saw it in my feed recently. It was on my mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it was just like, oh my God, they're back. Like it's happening again and people are enjoying it. It was like they were making videos before Vine with like, you know, did 6-second videos.
The one that it lives rent free in my head for forever is when like a dad walks in and sees his kid playing video games and he goes, "Today I'm going to teach you to shave." And the kid goes, "Let's do it tomorrow." and then it flashes forward, and you see like the same kid, the same age, but he has a beard, and he's standing at the cemetery, and he goes, "I shouldn't have waited."
Amazing stuff. Yeah. No, their videos are amazing, and so I'm so glad that they're back. Wonderful stuff. So good recommendation. But for missing the topical information of being they're back and they're making a big return, I'm going to deduct a tiny amount of points, but just a little bit. But you already got bonus points because I
You fool.
What you recommended.
That's great.
Bob, it's back to you.
Oh, okay. This is one. This one is smallish. Yeah, it's still not that small. 601,000 subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not a new genre. This is a very popular genre. There are lots of huge channels that do the same sort of things that this person does. But I really enjoy this channel and this individual's specific approach to things. I don't know if it's the aesthetic or what. The channel is called Drew Builds Stuff. Drew Builds Stuff. Only 32 videos. Been posting for a few years. But this person he's just like an engineer, and he just has like a shop. He lives in somewhere in one of the plain states, I don't recall. Somewhere like maybe in Minnesota or Wisconsin. And he just makes cool shit. And like he has a video 6 months ago, he posted a video where he made 3 huge TVs into like a framed window type thing.
Oh.
But then he also makes a couple months later, he makes it so that that's like a full wall gaming setup with a computer. But also he has a build where he built his dog a heated custom dog house. Oh, it says Canadian Winters. I guess he's Canadian. I didn't know that. But like he just builds stuff. He also built one of his more popular videos is he built a little teardrop camper that you can tow with a bicycle.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's like
cool.
the size of like one person bed, but it has like a built-in slide out thing for like a kitchen area. It has like a solar panel. He just builds the shit out of stuff.
What's funny is I went to his channel. I was like, I've never heard of this, but I've apparently watched one of his videos. I've got the red bar in full on the I made my bike camper electric. So it must have been when I was doing a lot of electric bike research and stuff like that.
He also has a video if you want to just like cry it out for 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
There's a video from about a year ago. Labrador puppies growing up from 1 hour old to 70 days old time lapse.
Oh.
It's just a clips video of a litter of puppies that were born in his house to a 70-day-old doggy. And it's just fucking adorable.
I also notice on his channel, just recently, I'm just looking through his videos. He's got the building heated doghouse with 9.5 million views. And I'm like, damn, that's crazy. And then his next video is breaking a world record, maybe with 47,000 views. And I'm like, oof, big drop. But the next one, 6.5 million views. And I'm like, holy God, what kind of ricochet was that in the algorithm? Like,
I don't know what his algorithm is, but yeah, it goes from 10 months ago, 1 million views, 9 months, 3.4 million, 8 months ago, 172,000, 7 months ago, 5 million, 6 months ago, million. It's just like he catches the algorithm sometimes, but sometimes he don't.
Yeah, it's fascinating. But no, that's good recommendation. I like it. A good, solid recommendation. Really good. I think he seems like the type of person that's real ingenuitive, and I apparently have watched one of his videos. I'm not like as captivated, so I'm not going to give you bonus points, but I'll give you a solid standard number of points.
I mean, I respect that. It's not like a thing where it blows your mind, because there are a lot of other people that build stuff and do fancy things. It's just he's like a really sweet person. The way he makes his videos is very engaging in a very like low key way.
I like that you would stand by those words just in case they're a terrible person, but I like that you stand by that.
Oh yeah, no. If Drew's a bad person, I'm going down. I'm in trouble.
All right, Wade.
I like sports. I watch sporty stuff, and there's a YouTube channel called That's Good Sports, as well as some other ones like Tom Grossi and Urinating Tree, Barry McCockner. There's some funny ones, but That's Good Sports. The guy who runs it, Brandon Perna, actually worked at Maker Studios back in like 2011 to 2013, which is kind of fun. But he's a Denver Broncos fan. And if you watch sports, care about sports at all, last year, Denver made a huge blockbuster trade for Russell Wilson. And in the summer before, he was so excited, so happy. And he was talking about how Denver was going to take the entire league by storm. And he was so confident. And they were one of the worst teams in the NFL last year. So his videos are him doing like game reactions as the season goes on. And the first game, he's like, Okay, well, they just need to get some cohesiveness. They're gonna come together. It'll be fine. And then by like the midway point through the season, he has a series called The New Worst Game I Have Ever Seen, and it's always his team. And he just looks more and more defeated, like 5 Mile Stare, whatever it's called, this whatever.
1,000 yards.
1,000 yard, 5 miles, 1,000 yards. They're about the same distance.
Yeah, whatever, same difference.
5 Mile Stare. Look, I say words, you guys know what I mean.
The Intercontinental Stare.
I just love watching that type of content of him like going through the stages of grief, rooting for his football team, and then being utterly disappointing. I loved it, every moment of it, every drop. It was beautiful. I appreciate That's Good Sports, Brandon Perna, very much. And his pain was truly my gain.
I love this video like order where it's 10 days ago, why Russell Wilson is not washed, and then the very next video 3 days later is why Russell Wilson is washed. It's just like I can feel, I don't know which way he feels one way or another, but based on what you said, I think he's like he's accepting it from denial.
It's his quarterback, so he's hopeful, but he's like trying to temper his expectations, so he's preparing for both realities. I don't know, he's just fun to watch. I enjoy his energy. His fuck me attitude, not fuck you attitude. He's got a fuck me attitude, I think.
Fair enough. Fair. I love it. I gave you points. Bob, this will close us out for the final recommendation.
Okay. Well, I am a big car fan that has come up on multiple occasions. There are lots of great car YouTubers. And this is sort of a network of people, but I'm going to focus on one guy in particular, and his main channel that he does has, again, just over 1 million subs, so I don't know how niche this is. But the YouTube channel Driver61 is a channel that is run by an Englishman named Scott. Can't remember his last name, but his Driver61 channel, he basically talks about like Formula One racing developments. It's interesting because I follow Formula One and he talks about some of the controversies and some of the stuff that happens, but also he talks about racing and driving in general. But he is also a part of another channel called Overdrive, which is a very interesting, it's three blokes, 3 Englishmen. Scott is like a professional racing driver, and then there's a guy who's like an enthusiast racing driver, and then there's a guy who's kind of like me, who he just likes cars, but he doesn't know shit about cars. He doesn't know anything about cars. He doesn't know anything about driving. He has like a really nice Nissan GTR, which is like a kind of an expensive, fancy sports car, but he doesn't drive or race or anything. He just likes it because it's cool and it sounds good. And like, it's like Top Gear, right? These guys basically looked at Top Gear and were like, let's do that. We're British. But they do really funny shit. And the Overdrive channel has like 400 some thousand subscribers, 427. So it's a little smaller, and they're just really earnestly like trying to do goofy shit with cars in very much like it captures a lot of what I liked about Top Gear in like the heyday of the series when it was really, really enrapturing. Is they kind of hate each other, they constantly give each other shit and sabotage each other, they build nonsense and drive it on racetracks, all kinds of funny stuff. Mm-hmm. If you're into cars at all, it's just the 3 of them on Overdrive. It's just like a funny group. But Scott especially is a very knowledgeable and excellent driver. Interesting dude to hear his takes on racing and driving and to get to see him drive stuff. Mm-hmm. Most recently, some of their more popular stuff has been they bought 3 1,000-pound vehicles. So like $1,000 car type of deal. And then they just have been doing challenges with them. And they bought this little I think it's a Ford KA or Ford Ka. It's like a tiny little city car. Thing is a beast. Cool. It was off-roading. It was e-brake drifting into parking lots. It was all kinds of stuff. It's just been very fun to watch them play with this car and do more shit with it. But it's if you like cars, Driver61, Overdrive, that whole network around those guys, super fun. Excellent channel. On the rise.
Excellent. Love that. All right.
I have a bonus. I don't want points for it, but I've got a bonus shout out I want to give. You guys have heard of Team 4-Star and Dragon Ball Z Abridged, right? 4-Star Bento is, I don't know, it's the same dudes, but they're going back and doing commentary over Dragon Ball Z Abridged, and they talk about the writing process. They talk about the jokes that were referenced that people got, that people missed. their voice acting. Like they just go through, they'll watch the episode and comment on it, and it's just so fascinating. It's funny, but it's also just so fascinating to learn. Because like Dragon Ball Z Abridged is where I get a lot of my humor from, probably. And hearing the writers talk about it, reflecting on it, talk about the writing process, the working process, what they were referencing, how many references they squeezed into like each episode and stuff is just really cool and really fun to me. So I super have enjoyed that series. It's not even done yet. They're still going. Highly recommend if you have watched Dragon Ball Z Abridged, or if you ever want to watch it first, watch Dragon Ball Z first, then watch Abridged, but then definitely give this a look. See, it's fun. Cool stuff.
All right. Well, it was after the clock ended, so it did not count. However, that is a fascinating way of getting content milked, and I applaud their effort for getting more out of everything. So there's one other honorable mention that I wanted to get in there as well, which is a channel that I still watch very frequently, even though this person is heavily involved in our podcast. That is the one and only Voldemort.
Yeah, I was wondering if you'd bring that up.
Oh, that's a good shout out.
You big Warhammer nerd.
Hey,
I was waiting for the shout out for Bob or for me, but Baltimore's, more deserving than us, so that's fair.
yes, it is. I don't know why you have to specify it like that. Makes you seem a little shitty.
Well, I just thought maybe you'd compliment your co-hosts a little bit, but
I don't watch your channels. Anyway, Voldemort here makes informative and really, if you don't know who this is, the person who does the intro of every episode of Distractible, you better not skip over that, because if you do, you are no longer welcome to watch these podcast episodes or listen to them either. But Voldemort, BALDERMORT on YouTube, makes very informative, very interesting breakdowns and analyses of Warhammer, 40k lore, and maybe even Warhammer lore. I don't watch those if they exist. I don't know. But really good stuff, really great content. If you want to hear more of that voice, you can go right there and you can listen to some.
Technically, the channel's name is Voldemort's Guide to Warhammer. Also worth saying.
What?
It is really good content. He cares very deeply about the content he makes, and it's if you follow him on socials and stuff and hear him talk about it, he thinks very seriously about the new things that come out and what he's thinking about them, and very well considered. I'm not a big Warhammer universe fan at all, but like Voldemort's awesome.
Yeah.
2 points, Mark. 2 points.
Thank you. I was calculating points very specifically. My criteria was, have I heard of it? Is it something that I would be interested in? And then any kind of bonus points were arbitrary or like...
I didn't realize we were supposed to be pandering.
Well, you kind of were, because he already knew everything you watched, and you guys are like bonding over it.
I talked about cars. I guess he had watched Drew build stuff, but...
I didn't give a lot of points for the cars one because it was not very...
Yeah, fine, good.
So, it was a close one. It was 12 points to 13. And that is without me nudging anything, no fudging, with bonus points and deductions included. Both of you had deductions. Both of you had bonus points. But the winner, with 13 points to 12 of today's episode, is... Bob!
Ah!
Won fair and square by points alone with proper recommendations. And
I demand no, I'm not going to do that anymore. I don't.
Nope, you're not getting it. We're never doing another coin flip again. I think actually we banned coin flips, even though the last episode was decided by a coin flip. I'm pretty sure
I don't give a shit what we banned. I was the host. I'm allowed to do whatever I want when I'm host.
Maybe we should leave that up to a coin flip of whether they're banned or not. Heads, they're banned. Tails, they're not.
No, Bob's the winner. That's the end of the story. There's no debate. There's no additional wheels. There's no coins. Give a winner speech before something arbitrary happens.
I got dressed for you. I showed you my shirt.
It feels...
That was fake and you know it. I deducted points.
It feels good that I win this knowing that I told you about a car YouTube channel that I know you probably could not care less about than you care about anything in the world. Smally, little bit. Wow, that really went off the rails. It feels good. I could have won by even more if I had just pandered a little bit. I bet I have one that you would love, Mark. Have you seen James Lee animations? You should check it out.
Of course, James Lee. That's another point for you.
Oh, yes, excellent. I'm the best. I'm so good at this. Wade, you can suck. Just suck.
All right,
you could just
sucking,
suck.
Wade.
Suck Elmo's foot, I guess.
I don't know why you keep that Elmo at hand at all times, and at this point, I'm too afraid to ask.
All right, loser speech.
Thank you so much, Mark, for the episode. I had a great time,
He had a perfect opportunity to work in his cigar and he didn't choose it. I think that's character growth. Thank you for losing with grace there, Wade. And thank you everybody for listening and or watching on Spotify. Be sure to follow for more merch.
Yeah, no. Mm-hmm.
It's in the works.
Ooh.
Definitely.
It's over there at that place.
Oh yeah, for sure. And we will be back with more Distractible very soon. Have a lovely day. Go subscribe to Markiplier and all those other channels.
Wow.
All right, podcast out.
I burpeed.